walkthrough through the 2000 watt CW. In this case, you either have a water cooled or an air conditioned cooled. Now I am dealing with an air conditioned machine today, so that's why you hear the air going in the background. I don't have it fully turned on yet because it's extremely loud. So what we're going to do is go over the basics of how the control panel works and what's involved. Before you start the machine, there's a couple of things you need to know. On this, we're dealing with the Qilin DWT 30 wand, okay? And on this wand, you'll notice that there is a lift gate. It's also a protection gate. The machine will not operate with the lift gate down. But the other thing you need to know is it has air. And you'll find a little loop to attach. And what you'll need to get is a little adapter like this. So you can get the little deal here and it goes to your air hose. And you can get the reducer so that this plugs in for the air. You have to have the air or the machine will not operate. And you can see here it says atmospheric pressure. That's because there's no air going on the machine. For this demonstration purpose, we don't have to have it because we're just going to be going over the controls. The other thing you want to make sure that you have is a good quality air dryer. Now I've got this sample. This is the one that I suggest you get because it has the basic liquid chamber, a secondary liquid chamber, and then it's got the two chambers that you put the blue beads in, and you can change those beads out, and it sucks all the moisture out of the air that is done by the air compressor. Okay, that's really, really important. So when you're ready to go, when you have the air connected, you want to make sure that the laser's running. If you have a water-cooled machine, you need to let it run 5 minutes before using it. There is no admin panel where you have to put in a code. So your lockout system is your key. Just keep that in mind. We've designed these to be simple, simple, simple. You'll notice that up in the corner is a gearbox, okay? And it's really hard to see, but it's just all the perimeter settings and the hardware configuration. Most of the time it's already preset for you, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you ever have any problems with it, ramp control decides on the rise and fall, in this case it's milliseconds, of the laser source itself, and the off delay. There's always an off delay. Gas control is how many milliseconds it goes on, and delay, and in this case it's 10% gets through the wand, okay? As far as the graphic rotation angle, you don't need to worry about that. That's basically it on that. As far as the other stuff, the settings configuration, that's if your wand ever gets dropped, you might throw off the motors on it, the mirrors, the crystals. So this is how you can adjust it if it's ever off. Right now it's just set to 0, so it's no big deal. You really should never have to mess with this section at all. And then the other section is your SS number. You can scan this QR code and it gives you the daily maintenance. And if you ever have to call in for support, your serial number is on the machine. We'll definitely need that. Also, if you want to change the language, you can do that here. Right here. And there's all the languages. I don't think you'll need to change it, so you just leave it alone. Then the last but not least is the pin code. So the pin code on here is just 1 2 3 4 5 6, and that's to help you turn on your alarm, turn it off. Everything's preset, so you really don't have to mess with this. You can turn a lift gate function alarm on. That way if somebody hits the trigger, it'll alarm. The problem is you have to reset it. So we just leave it off. It's pretty obvious if you hit the lift gate and you squeeze the trigger. And what I'm talking about is this is the lift gate. Okay, if you hit the trigger, it's not gonna, nothing's gonna happen anyway. So that alarm is for that. You don't really have to worry about it because it's not gonna work unless the lift gate's up. So you're covered there. Now, as far as everything over here, everything should be in the green. Again, you have to have the atmospheric pressure is for the air. Okay, but then this is also a welding machine, but you'll see it'll say connected for that. Now, when you're first starting it up, we can't do it now because the laser's not on. You'll hit what's called the F gap, okay, and then you'll hit the red light, and then you'll notice on here it's not going to work because I don't have the laser on. I will turn it on here in a minute, but it's going to be really, really loud. But you never have to worry about hitting the gas button because it's automatic. It's hooked up to the trigger. We have that built into the machine. But mainly what we need to do is go over the settings. And you'll notice on the back of the wand, it looks like a windshield wiper. If this is on, that means you're hot and you're ready to clean. If you see numbers here, that means there's a problem going on here, and that's how you'll know that the machine's not ready. Okay? So, it's so basic. This is the easiest wand to use. That's why I love Qilin. It's the top line that we use. You have the cleaning mode here, where you can hit that, and it's your different patterns. You've got a straight line, an oval circle, an oval straight line, double. You've got a snowflake. You've got the double oval, and you've got the Celtic cross. And I'm going to show you those here in a minute. Now, my favorite to clean with is the third one down, which is the oval, and the Celtic cross, okay? So, then you have 3 different stages, okay? You have heavy-duty cleaning, and heavy-duty, these 3 stages, you've got heavy-duty cleaning, you've got standard clarity, and then you've got non-destructive, okay? Now, the difference in these is how fast the pattern moves. The longer the laser is on the substrate, the hotter it gets, because this is a CW machine, and the harder it cleans. If you're trying to protect the substrate, you want to go with standard or non-destructive. Most of the stuff that we do is non-destructive because it's, you know, thin material, okay? So that's what that's for. Now, if you're doing heavy duty rust, then you just put it on heavy cleaning. And you'll be able to tell, other than the straight line and these top 3, the top 3 don't move. The top 3 patterns don't move. The bottom 3 patterns are rotation patterns, okay? So that's how you'll know, because as far as the cleaning strength, this only affects the bottom 3 patterns, not the top 3. You're cleaning with, that's self-explanatory. In this case, it'll go all the way up to 150 for this machine. Yours could be different. Yours could go to 300 millimeters, but you know, most of the time, your cleaning pattern is no more than 5 to 6 inches. That's the standard for these type of machines, because anything bigger than that, it's too hard to control. So you want to keep it within 2 inches to 5 inches, and that's the normal. Now, your cleaning power, it's in percentages, okay? So it's between 1 and 100%. This is a 2,000 watt. So 80%, which is what it's set on right now, is 1,800 watts. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're doing it. So 50% would be 1,000 watts because it's a 2,000 watt machine. Now you can come in and you can also edit that if you want to. You can change your frequency. I've got mine set to 300 hertz. Okay, your laser duty cycle is how much you want to clean for whatever. You can change the standard clarity, and you can change the heavy duty, and you can change the non-destructive. That's going to change the speeds of everything, okay? Just keep that in mind, okay? And the 10%, the lower the percentage, the slower it turns, Does that make sense? So the lower the percentage, the slower the pattern turns. That's why I've got heavy duty at 10%. I've got standard at half. I've got non-destructive at full speed. Okay, that's what that means. Again, if you hit something that's just not working right, you can change the frequency right here. Okay, right there. You just do it to whatever you want. 700, right? And it'll just take it. Now I like mine because what I'm fixing to clean that we've been working on for the past couple of days, it's at 300 or 3000 hertz, so that's why it works. And then you just hit quit. And then from that point, once you have your air compressor hooked up and you've got everything turned on, you'll be able to see the patterns. You'll see that all this is clean. So I'm going to pause this real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and get everything running, and then I'll show you what the patterns do. All right. So as we're looking, you can see the pattern. Well, I don't know if it's going to pick it up on the camera, but there's the straight line. Okay. There's the oval. It's a kind of an oval straight line. There's the straight line that spins. Okay. There's the double oval. Now you can't really see it, but it is a double oval. And of course my favorite, which is the Celtic cross. And that's how that works. So the best thing to do is, it's a single tap, make sure your gate's open, and that's all you have to do. Simple stuff. So enjoy. Remember, you only have to press this one and this one. You see, if I hit the light, it turns off. If I do that, it turns on. Okay? The F gap is what makes the laser fun. You never have to worry about the gas because it's automatic. But if you want to test it, you just hit it. You kind of hear it. And that's it. Simple as that. All right. Well, you're not going to hurt yourself. Start out on the power at, I'm going to turn this off. Start at the power on 50% so you don't get shocked of your life when you first turn it on. Make sure you have your safety glasses on. And I will call you guys tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Have a good one.